For this assignment, I did a case brief on Tinker, who is the plaintiff, versus Des Moines, which is the defendant. The full case name is Tinker v. Des Moines Independent Community School District. The citation was Tinker v. Des Moines 393 U.S. 503. The case of action that was taken for this case was when three students, two Tinker siblings and another student, petitioned the court to be permitted to wear black armbands to school as a protest to the Vietnam War. It was a peaceful protest against the fighting and wanting for a resolution to the truth. After three students, two from the public high schools and one from the junior high school, wore black armbands to school in protest of the Vietnam War, they were suspended and sent home until they would return without their armbands. The school was attempting to avoid mentioning the Vietnam War in order to ensure that there were no disruptions that would occur at the school. The students were attempting to peacefully vocalize their opinion that the war should be ended in a truce and that they were against the fighting by wearing the armbands. These students, though, violated the school's regulation. So once suspended, the students filed a complaint to the school that not allowing them to wear the armbands censored their First Amendment right of freedom of speech. So the way the proceedings followed, it began at the district court, which dismissed the complaint from the students and held that not allowing the armbands was reasonable to prevent any possible disturbance that would have needed the school's discipline action. Then it went to the circuit court, which affirmed that district trial court's ruling and said, yep, it's fine, they can be suspended for that. Next, this got all the way up to the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court reversed the ruling and said that wearing the armbands was peaceful and didn't create any destructive content, which basically said that these students still had their First Amendment rights. The issues presented in this case were, do the students have the right to state opinions on current events in public schools? Will the student's position on a current event cause disruption or violence? And how much of a student's speech can the school regulate? So the holdings that I found where the students had a right to wear armbands to school as a non-disruptive right of speech. The school may not silence student speech when it does not cause a disturbance. And students and teachers do not, quote, shed their constitutional rights to freedom of speech or expression at the schoolhouse gate, end quote. This is a famous quote from this case and from this ruling. So the reasoning that was behind the courts was that while protesting the war illustrates students' different viewpoints, schools do not have the right to take away students' freedom of speech for just fear of possible disruption. Just because of fear doesn't fully give them the right to take it away. There would actually have to be a disruption. And the students had the right to wear armbands as it didn't disturb normal school day activities. The district court decided to dismiss the complaint, claiming that the school's actions were constitutional to prevent disrupting of school day, just as a preventative option. And the Circuit Court of Appeals was actually divided and just affirmed the district court's ruling. The Supreme Court is what reversed it, and that's when they decided to make their rule of law, claiming that students had their First Amendment right to wear armbands and peacefully practice their right to freedom of speech, which goes into the rule of law that was established. This case established that the students have the right to freedom of speech in public schools as long as the expression does not cause a disturbance. And famously said from this case, students and teachers do not shed their constitutional rights to freedom of speech or expression at the schoolhouse gate. And all my sources came from the Lexis advanced academic site that UF provides.